Good morning. How y'all doing? Sawadee-krapทุกคน ยินดีต้อนรับสู่ช่อง Scott Malin. That means welcome to my channel. Benny Bang. That means how y'all doing? What's happening? Today I think we should have a little interesting show, because we're talking about my favorite people. Well, actually my least favorite, and that is the CCP. Can't stand them. Cannot stand them. And we're going to go over a few things with regards to the CCP and their attempts to basically, they're not taking over the world militarily, not yet at least. They're not trying. I don't think they'd be that stupid. But they are trying in other ways, which it's very insidious, and it's very clever what they're doing, but they're not as clever as they think. And this incident that's happened about the piano and in the UK, they could have let it go and it would be a nothing. It would be not important. It wouldn't be important at all. Hey Tom, how you doing? Good morning to you. Good morning to everybody. It would not be important. Nobody would care. A lot of people never knew who Brendan Kavanaugh was until a couple of days ago. I knew who he was because my mother had told me about him. I had been subscribed to him a while back, and then I unsubscribed because every once in a while I go through and I unsubscribe from many channels, channels that I'm not really watching, and I just didn't, I mean, I like listening to piano, but I'm not so hip to it that I've got to listen to it all the time, so I unsubscribed from him. Then the other day I hear, oh, have you seen this? My mother says, maybe you can download this. And I went, okay, let me see what I can do. Good morning, Victor. Good morning, Mr. Daniel. Glad you guys could join me here. Hopefully you can see me all right. You can hear me all right. I was going to go somewhere today and I just went, you know what? There's traffic. There's a lot of traffic. I mean, it is a Friday, and, I had thought about going to the factory, I thought about going to Caro, I thought about going to some new places. I just went, it's not important. What's important is the subject in today's stream, and I think it's very, very important. Carnivore, how you doing? What's happening? I am still stocking up on my meat, and I'm going today, and I'm going to get some more meat so that I can just keep stocking up, and I'm feeling good, feeling strong, feeling healthy. Anyway, as of about a half an hour ago, the Thai baht 35.72 to the dollar. 82 is the air quality index right now, which is okay. 74 degrees, which is very good. High of 88, low of 72, and the feel-like temperature 75, and a somewhat cool, crisp and cool 67% humidity. Just everything combined. It's not a bad day. I got a long sleeve shirt on and I'm not sweating. I'm not feeling hot. I feel really good, so that's the way that goes. I want to give a shout out to all my Patreon patrons, to my website and YouTube VIPs, and everybody else who contributes. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. But the first thing we're going to get into today has to do with the pianist, Brendan Kavanaugh. He's a very good pianist. Nobody questions his skills or anything like that. But I don't know if you've seen the video that I put up, or if you know what's going on with him. What did I get? Oh, I got a macchiato. Okay. It's pretty good. Anyway, good morning, Bruce. Anyway, I know some people are up on it, but not everybody is, and they don't always have time. He's playing piano in St. Pancras in London, the train station. And apparently he was playing for a few minutes. He had seen a group of people he thought it was a Japanese group, and they were saying, oh, these Japanese want to film, in a little while, so, can we make arrangements? Can everything be okay here where we're not interfering and all that kind of thing? So he said, yeah, no problem, and he talked. He knew the producer. He's got a couple million subscribers. People know who he is in London. And so he started talking to the producer, and then, he thought that everybody in the group was Japanese. Well, some of the people were Chinese, and they weren't together. No, he had 2.19 million subscribers right when this video went up. So he's gained quite a few, but so from 2.19 to 2.32. So anyway, yeah, I mean, he's making money and all that, but I do think the guy does it to make a living. He's smart on how he markets himself. However, I don't think that in this case that this is what he's after. He's not trying to, I'm going to maximize the profits, and I think he's smart. He relinquished the copyright to his video. And, I think that's very smart, because now this video has been seen everywhere. He's playing piano, and this girl kind of timidly comes up. Good morning, Andy. Her name is Liu Menyin, and she works with a consultant firm, or she started a consulting firm in the UK. She also is what I would consider a soft, she's a spy. She's a soft member of the CCP, which means she is involved and she mimics what the CCP says. She and the others, that's exactly what they are. And they live in the UK, which is scary when you think about it. You got people thinking like this, preaching communism. And, okay, listen, I understand you got to have freedom and all this other kind of stuff, but don't try to shut down the people in the country. And that's exactly what they tried to say. Well, I did put it up, Andy. I put it up. I could put a little bit of him playing, and then I put it up with him talking to the people, and you can see exactly what happened. And, there was a section where there was a young guy. He was a kind of a big guy, kind of a tall guy, and he was trying to be nice. He said, first he said, get that camera out of my face, and Brendan said, oh, that's my camera. I'm just, it's, and the guy said, oh, okay. And so then he said to them, if you don't like it, why don't you just leave? That's what you should do, because the law is what it is. I don't care what the stupid cop said. I don't care about, we're going to make this rule. No, the law is that you have the freedom in a public place that you can film. That's the law. Now, this is just one aspect of what the CCP does. And as some of you may know, I have been in Hong Kong, and I've seen firsthand what they do. And they are just miserable. They are miserable people who have a miserable ideology. That's how that's what I would say about communism in China. Actually, what's kind of funny is that you guys may remember that when I was on the Songtao, I had an incident with a guy. I was not filming inside the Songtao except for about 2 seconds, because I had to turn my body. I had the gimbal pointing forward, going out of the Songtao. It's filming outside. And this lady came on, and I had to turn my body, and I turned the gimbal, and then I see this guy out of the corner of my eye, sitting in the corner giving me these evil eyes, and I just, I didn't think much of it. And then he came over to me, and he said, "You can't film, stop filming, stop filming." Just like they did in London. And, he thought I was just gonna back down, just like the Chinese did in this. He thought, oh, this guy's just gonna back down. And then I started speaking Thai to him, and I said, basically, get away from me. Don't put your hands on my gimbal, because he touched my gimbal, which is like, Brendan Kavanaugh touched the flag. He just barely touched it, and they made this big stink about it. And they're acting like it's a sexual harassment, but it's not. And they have it on film. They're stupid because everything is on film. Everything that happened before they started the live stream and everything that went on during has been filmed. It's all over the internet, and they're stupidly pursuing this. Now, simply asking to have a video taken down doesn't necessitate that it will be taken down. I know, because I've had videos taken down of other people. I've taken them down. I've had some idiots that have posted things, and I either let them go, or I just went, it's not worth it. But then sometime I would just go, you know what, this is too much. And they took down like 20 videos. But then sometimes they wouldn't take the video down, and I'd be like, I wonder why. So now, who knows if they're going to take it down or not? They've been pressing the YouTube to take this down. Now, I don't see why they would take it down. I really don't. They could say, okay, blur his face for the 1 second that his face is showing, or when you're showing these women, blur their face. They could say that. But I think that's the worst that's going to happen. Anyway, when I was on the Songtao and the guy grabbed me, I stood up and I said, get out of my face. Get away from me. And, I started to get a little bit, I admit it, I started to get pissed off. And I started to think to myself, I'm going to crack this guy. But, I'm just like a lot of people. I got a guy on one shoulder, a guy on the other shoulder. The one guy's going, knock him out, knock his teeth out, bash him, hit him good, as solid as you can, just straight through his teeth. And then the other part of me is going, you don't want to go to jail. So, I was like, I think I don't want to go to jail. And then I was thinking, my wife's going to be pissed, my kids are going to be shaking their head going, Daddy, why'd you do this? What are you thinking? So I didn't do it. But I did stand up to him and said, go ahead, call the police. Because it was legal at the time to film. Now they have to ask you they can ask you to not use their footage. And you can't use it. They can ask you, don't film. If you have that, take those down, delete them, whatever you're going to do. They have the right to ask you not to film. But that is Thailand. That is not the UK. What is this? Have you noticed that ruthless e-begging on YouTube lately? It's borderline. Do you have anything useful to say? Even some dumb channel, they ask what? They ask what? Donors constantly. It's so frustrating. So what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Anyway, I thought it was quite funny that these Chinese would actually say, and what's funny is the way that the guy approached Brendan Kavanaugh. Because he said to him, okay, this is the end of the conversation. And it's like, wait a minute. It's not the end of the conversation, buddy. I'm filming wherever I want. Which was basically what he said. It's like, no, we're not in communist China. You don't get to dictate to me. And this is the kind of thinking that some people have. It's not only communist, it's not only Chinese, it's not only Thais, it's, I have very little problem with Thais. Almost never do I have a problem with Thais. They're very easy to get along with. You just don't put yourself in a position where you're going to have issues, and you won't. So, That's pretty simple. Now, he's out in a public place, and because he's out there, they thought, oh, well, we'll intimidate him. And then the thing is he got angry, and I'd be like, listen, buddy, I didn't touch her. I touched the flag. Now, that would have ticked me off, that he yelled at me. And I would have been like, listen, pal, you need to shut up and get out of here. But to do it the smart way, you do exactly what Brendan did, which is you do not lose your temper, do not get physical, you don't do any of that. Because I thought when he backed up, I thought to myself, oh, is this going to get physical? He touched the flag. That's it. Well, we don't need any fakes on this channel. You know. See you later, pal. But anyway, it was very interesting because I watched it again. I watched the video a couple of times. I watched every video that has to do with this because I want to see. And the thing is that the woman, this Liu Mengjing or whatever her name is, she has a channel. She released a video saying that Brendan Kavanaugh provoked the Chinese. Now, he's sitting there playing piano. How is he provoking you? I don't see that happening. And just saying, oh, they're Japanese, they're not Chinese, even that does not necessitate you saying, oh my God, he's provoking us. No, he's not provoking you. He made a mistake. And even if he didn't make a mistake, you're not in China. And I can say that. He's not in China. It's the truth. I don't care if it is racist. If it is racist, oh well. If it's not racist, you know, good. I don't think it is. I think you're allowed to say those things. Oh, you're carrying a Chinese flag. Would you happen to be a communist? I think that is very appropriate. And the fact that the one woman kept saying, I'm a British citizen, I'm a British citizen. Well, maybe they should take your citizenship away because you're the kind of person that's not good for the UK. You're not good for the rest of the world. People like that are not good for the world. They're insidious and they stick their finger in the pie and start trying to push buttons. And this is what I mean. This is just one way that the CCP deals with people. Now, I've been to China. I went to the Beijing Olympics. I covered the Beijing Olympics as a journalist. I was in the press room. I was doing all these things. And I was treated very well, but we were told you cannot go out of this area. And I thought that was kind of strange because I was very busy. I was really stuck at the bird's nest, which is where the boxing was. So I didn't really go out much other than to just go to the hotel and to sleep at the hotel and to work and to shoot photos, which I was doing all day. So, you know, that was one thing. Then I went to a fight. I had a guy fighting it's called Huili. It's Huiliu. I think it's near Shenzhen, and I don't remember how long it took us to get there. I mean, it's been like 12 years or something like that. All in all, I had a good time, but I had a good time because I was with a couple of people who I got along with, a couple of Thais who I got along with. We were treated very, very well. The person who was in charge of the event took care of us. I mean, and the money, he got the money from the Chinese government. He told us that. And I mean, we had as much food as we wanted. We went into a room and there's just, we were the only people in the room, and there's this round table with, you know, the little spinning thing, I forget what it's called, the dumb waiter or whatever. And there was like 20 plates of food. There was so much food, we couldn't possibly eat it all. And that's what we had to eat when we were there. Lazy Susan, yes, thank you. So that was interesting. And all I can say about that is I was treated very well. Now, I did have some problems when I went into town and I started asking for certain things because the Chinese, because I didn't speak Chinese, they didn't even want to talk to me. They're like, that was what they did. I didn't appreciate that. They didn't even try to work with me. Now, eventually somebody did. And the people that we met out on the streets tended to be very nice. We met some people dancing. They were out in the park, and I had a good time. However, I wouldn't want to go back there, and it's not just because of Hong Kong. Hong Kong is one area where the CCP, they say Hong Kong is part of China. Now, I don't really agree, and I don't agree that Taiwan is part of China, but technically, the United States does agree, which I find somewhat troubling. And just, when was it? What's today? The 25th? Just today, the U.S. Navy sailed a warship into the Taiwan Strait, and China said, oh, we're trying to start trouble and provoke China. Which I find kind of interesting, because China goes wherever they want and does whatever they want. In the Philippines, Vietnam, whatever, they just do whatever they want. And then we're supposed to just go, and people in general are just supposed to go, oh, okay, it's what they want. No. And it says right here, no member of the international community should be intimidated or coerced into giving up their rights and freedoms. The United States military flies, sails, and operates anywhere international law allows. Now, the same thing goes with Brendan Kavanaugh playing piano in a public space. And I did get some messages. There's a couple of messages where the people went, oh yeah, well, it's a public space, but it's my right because they're my photographs. No, they're not your photographs, idiot. They're not, because I used to be a photographer and I used to know all about the photography laws, and I would have to double check everything. But what I do know is that in the UK, you're allowed to film in public. You're allowed to take photos in public. You don't have to ask for the rights. You don't have to say, oh, can I use your photo? No, you don't have to do that. And it makes me mad to see people trying to act like they can intimidate, they can provoke, they can coerce, whatever the word is. They can tell someone, in this case Brendan Kavanaugh, oh, you cannot film. I'm so sorry. We really love your music. I'm so sorry, though. You can't film us. And, he really tried to be polite, and he said, I'm sorry, buddy, but this is the UK. We can do whatever we want. This is a public space. You can film me, I can film you. Now, what I think, honestly, I'll tell you what I really think happens. I do think that they're pro-CCP, but this is probably not a coordinated effort to make him look bad, to make the UK look bad. I don't think it has to do with any of that. I think they were trying to record their show, because it was a TV crew. They were trying to record their show, and they figured, well, he's in the picture, he's filming, and we're trying to film, so he shouldn't be filming us because we need to film this. And they just thought, oh, well, if we tell you to stop, you've got to stop. And that's not the case, obviously. That's what I think happened. I think it's just that simple. It was very easy. Was not, and that woman who was a cop, she was absolutely idiotic. And I hope that they reprimand her and they give her a little bit of training on what the law is. Because, in the UK, I hate to say it, but they don't mess around. It's, they don't, oh, well, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to say anything. No, if the law is you can film in public, that's what the law is. There is none of this, oh, well, you're hurting their feelings. So, and you're in their way, and they want to feel. No, he was sitting there at the piano. I just don't. It's so ludicrous. It's so stupid that these people would do this. And then the thing is that they've continued to go on the hunt. Inside a business in the UK, the store is the store, able to compel you that you're not allowed to film or take photos. Stop. They're not in a business. That's the thing. They're not in a place that's owned by someone. They're owned by a place. They're in the place that's owned by the government, run by the government. So it is a public space in every sense of the word. And I mean, think about this. If I was in Hua Lamphong Station and I started taking some photos, would the security come up to me and say, oh, no photos, no photos? No, of course not. Now, in a coffee shop, I think if they really wanted to, they could. Because it is not a public space. It's a private area. It's owned by a person or people. But it's highly unlikely you would see that. Now, again, in this case, he's out in a train station where there are thousands of people going through every day. They're taking photographs, they're shooting video with phones, with film camera, with the, with video cameras. Some people have film cameras. So there's no question about that. I've tried to look at it from every angle, and I have not been able to figure out how they can get away with saying, oh, he cannot film us. Yes, he can. And I would just go, listen, buddy, I'm allowed to film. If you don't like it, take a hike, that's it. I'm going to go back to play, and, you do what you want. That's what I would do. And that's kind of what he did. Yes. All right. We've already established this. Yes, Elton John donated the piano. The piano was cordoned off after this incident, and then Brendan Kavanaugh's friend went, and he was playing there, and now it is no longer cordoned off. No, it is no longer cordoned off. And Terry Miller, I think that's what his name is, he was just playing yesterday. So, they supposedly it was for maintenance. Because maybe Dr. K plays a little bit too hard. Anyway, this is only one particular thing that I'm talking about. Like I said, yesterday or today, I'm not sure exactly when, it's the 25th, so I would think it's just like recently, the United States Navy went through the Taiwan Straits, and the Chinese didn't like it. Well, guess what? Too bad. So here they are again, trying to say, oh, this is what we do, you're not allowed to do that. No, who says we're not allowed? The CCP? Just because the CCP says you're not allowed to do something doesn't mean you're not allowed to do it. So people need to understand that, and it's good that he stood up. Now, I just saw this other article that says China doesn't have the military power to successfully invade Taiwan. This is 52 experts in a survey, and only 27% thought that Beijing could pull off a successful amphibian assault. The belief is that the United States would intervene in an invasion, and this and the lack of firepower that China has, and their economy is not in good shape, and that translates into the military only has so much power. Now, could they take over Hong Kong? Well, they already kind of did, but they didn't do it with the military. An overwhelming 96% of U.S. experts are completely or moderately confident that if China invades Taiwan in the next 5 years, the U.S. military would intervene to defend Taiwan. Now, whether or not that's going to happen, I don't know. And, you know, I don't want to make assumptions. The problem with the Chinese is that they think your intentions are the same as their intentions, whatever they accuse someone of. Yes, I understand that. And this is the thing. It's like the Chinese are doing something that's dirty and underhanded. And then if you do the same thing, they don't want you to do it. I mean, you know. Now, the problem, one of the problems is things like the ingredients for medicine, things that you need for computers. A lot of assembly is done in China, so if they really wanted, they could probably make things very, very difficult for the rest of the world. Now, I do believe that if they really got nasty, that the majority of the world would come to China and do what they had to do. They would help, and they would basically, by force, take whatever they needed. I think that would happen, and I think China knows that. Well, this is the thing. Look at, you know, China's already got their tentacles in Burma. They're putting them into Thailand, and the thing is now, let me just look at my notes here, but Thailand is set to sign an agreement with China sometime between now and the next 4 days that permanently waives visa requirements for Chinese, and it will go both ways. It'll be the Thais and the Chinese. From March 1st forward, Thailand would allow Chinese tourists to stay for 30 days on a single entry and 90 days on a multiple entry visa in any 180-day period. So they could just come in. They don't have to have a visa, but so this makes it very easy because they want that Chinese money. And I can tell you that when I was involved in boxing, there was an organization who is going to go unnamed. If you really wanted to, you could figure it out. They were one of the sanctioning bodies, and they put on a championship fight with a guy who was 0-1 and a guy who was 0-0. This was a regional championship. And my question as a journalist at the time was, how on earth are they champions? They're fighting for a championship. There are other people who are much more deserving. Why are you allowing, I think it was a Cambodian and Chinese or something like that, and they said, well, we want the China market. They flat out told me that. We want the Chinese market. Okay, I understand they want the Chinese market. Then let them do it like everybody else. Let them work their way up and, you know, deserve the title shot. So they didn't do that. The fight came off. They had the fight, and you know, I don't even know where, you know, the guy who became the champion is he's long since been dethroned. I think he lost his next fight. But you know, it just goes to tell you that people, money talks. You got to follow the money. Now, I talked about this Liu Menjing. She has a consulting firm in the UK and is a soft member of the CCP. This other lady, Adelina, I guess that's her nickname. Her name is Zhang Ning. She's a host, presenter, and she's the one claiming, oh, we have our rights. We have rights to our images. We have portrait rights. We have the rights to this film. And the thing is that she hosts events that are basically geared towards the CCP, being pro-China, pro-government of China. That's her job. They want Thai girls to keep, wait a minute, what is this? CCP stole Tibet and half of Mongolia. Well, that's the other thing. They'll say, oh, no, we didn't steal. Tibet is ours. No, it's not. Now, that burns me up about Tibet. It really burns me up. You know, it burns, every place does. And I can say that my 4 months in Hong Kong made me a different person. And it made me a different person in that in the past I was like, yeah, China's all right, you know, whatever. They're doing what they do, you know, hands off. Once I went to Hong Kong and I saw, you know, little old ladies beaten, little kids being, you know, rousted by the cops, and the cops just pushing their ideology, and of course, you know, getting pepper sprayed a couple of times by really what amounted to just asshole cops who just wanted to exert their power. You know, it wasn't like I wasn't doing what they said or anything like that. And so they just wanted to show that we're in charge and you're not. That's the way it goes. And I understand that, you know, I have to respect authority, and, you know, I don't have a problem. I don't always want to fight with authority or anything like that. I don't have any problems with the Thai cops. Say what you will about them. I don't have problems with them. Generally, I have no problems with them because I don't break the law. I don't even want to go there. But in China, I'm standing there. The guy tells me back up. I can't back up because there's a pole behind me. I try going around the pole and he sprays me. And I got sprayed like 3 times when I was there. I got hit a couple of times. I got knocked down once. You know, like full on bull rushed. And, you know, these things and other things that happen there, I just go, okay, so this is one place. I already know. This is the way that China thinks. They think, we own this place. We'll do whatever we have to do. Okay, I understand that, but I don't like it. They think that way about Taiwan. They think that way about what is it? What's the ocean by the Philippines and Vietnam? I forget, where they're building all these sand dunes. They think that that's theirs. They think that all of Southeast Asia is theirs, but it's not. And so, in a somewhat reserved manner, they are slowly trying to take over the world economically. They're trying to make deals with places. They know the places cannot fulfill the deal, so that puts them in a position where, you know, it puts them in a positive position. I used to think the pandemic was created to stop the Hong Kong protests. No, I don't think so. Chinese students add 12 billion to the Australian economy every year. Well, unfortunately, that's the problem. China is involved in Thailand with the Belt and Road Initiative. Let me see something here. I don't know exactly where, but I'm looking here. They're all over the world with this. Okay. China, Indochina Peninsula Corridor, Pearl River Delta Economic Circle, Guangzhou, Hong Kong, Shenzhen to Indochina. Electrification and double tracking of the Gemus Johor Bahru Railroad. Oh, well, think about this. There are trains that China is involved in Thailand. And not only that, they've got their fingers in the United States, in Florida. They own the turnpike. I didn't know that. They own the turnpike. Oh, guess what? You know what? If I was in charge, I'd say, hey, listen, Chinese, you're no longer in charge of the turnpike. You no longer own the turnpike. So, too bad. Get out. But see, the countries are too weak. Hey, Bob. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is a problem because what are you going to do? Stop all Chinese students from traveling abroad to study? You can't do it. So I think in one way, when we look at it, fighting the CCP is almost a lost cause. The Florida Turnpike. Let me see here. Let me see something. Yeah, they have funded, there's 400 wealthy foreign investors, mostly from China, provide $200 million for a $420 million project to fund the I-95. Wow, what is this? Anyone else fed up and frustrated with Florida's turnpikes? Let me see here. Let me just double check on this. Oh, that's in China. Texas has boycotted toll roads that are foreign owned. They initiated a boycott. I don't know when this was. Let's see here. Florida has the most toll roads in any state of the United States. 719 miles of toll roads. SunPass is owned and operated by the Florida Department of Transportation. So I think what it is that some of the turnpike is funded by the CCP. China is Australia's largest trade partner, 6 times greater than the U.S. in trade. Wow, that's pretty wild, eh? Now, you know, what are you going to do? You can't say, well, this country, we can't do business with them because we don't agree with their politics. You can't really do that. Now, it's not like, I mean, I guess they are engaging in a lot of activities that are less than stellar, we'll say. You know, with the Uyghurs and, you know, people disappearing and what goes on in Hong Kong and Taiwan and everything else. They're doing a lot of shady things, but we know this, and yet, well, he should. Why should we let the Chinese own our farms? That's just stupid. Oh, well, they've got the money. Yeah, they've got the money, and then what happens is you let them have everything. They own everything. And then what do you own? So this is how they're trying to take over the world. They're not trying to, they're smart. They're smart in this regard. They are not trying to take over the world with guns because they can't do it. They know people will gang up on them, and it's a lost cause to fight. Now they may end up trying to take Taiwan. I don't know. I don't know if they can take over Taiwan. I think if Two Quarters Korean was in here, he has something to say about that. I don't think he thinks that they would make a move like that now. So they're smart in the regard that they don't use their military might to do anything. And that way what they can do is they can go, we didn't do anything. Oh, we're just doing what you guys would do. And in a sense, they are correct. The United States would do some things that are less than stellar. They do things around the world. So, you know, why can't China? Well, because their ideology doesn't allow citizens to be completely free. And that comes to another point. Are we really free? You know, I don't know why I come in here. I should have went somewhere else. They're playing music here at Pacamara. You can hear the music now. They're playing music in the background. Then they're playing music over there. They got 3 different songs playing at the same time. Oh, it's just crazy. 100-year anniversary of the CCP. No, wait a minute. Is that PRC I'm thinking of? because I was at the 100-year anniversary. No, the 100-year anniversary took place July of 2021. So it's not 2027. Yeah, and I was there when they were protesting in Hong Kong about the 100, you know, they went nuts. People went nuts. That was right when I got there. And they absolutely went nuts. And I have some footage. I'm going to put up a video. I have another video also, but this is on a different subject. Patia Bob knows what it is. This is about a guy who, he made a little bit, he made a little bit of a mistake and got involved. Well, I think it's a mistake. He got involved with a woman in a bar and had a child with her. Now he has all kinds of issues. And I'm gonna do the pros and cons, or his mindset and my mindset. And I can tell you that most people agree with me, agree with Bob. However, he has a different mindset about this. I'm going to do a video on that. This shirt, I think this one is, this is a tailored shirt I had from many years ago, and I just haven't worn it much. And I have some clothes, and I just went, some of these clothes I threw out, and some of them I went, why am I not wearing these? I have a lot of nice clothes. I have a lot. Well, why would you want cheap, illegal Chinese cigarettes? First of all, I think cigarettes are a nasty habit, personally. I think you shouldn't smoke. That's what I think. And there was a time when smoking cigarettes was equated with being in good health and being a manly man, but it's not anymore. And, personally, I don't smoke, so I don't understand it, and I never will. Kind of like what happened with this guy, but I'll talk about that in the video or videos that I make. But I'm also going to talk about, what's going on with Brendan's case, everything like that. Yeah, that's another thing, how much is it? $50 a pack. $99, so about $2 a pack. $2 Aussie a pack. And I think those are, okay, 50 cigarettes. Well, how much is in a pack of cigarettes? Isn't it 20? I thought it was 20. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Don't smoke. That's my opinion. You shouldn't smoke. Listen, even smoking weed, I'm like, okay, you want to smoke weed, go do your thing, have fun. You want to smoke cigarettes, okay, what's the benefit? I don't really see a benefit. Well, what they want and what they can do are two different things. And that's the problem. In 2030, I will be 68 years old. I will be living wherever I damn well please. And I can tell you that although the air quality is moderate today, that's not bad. Generally, the air quality in Thailand is absolutely horrible. And I've looked for a long time, where are places with low levels of PM 2.5? You can't find any now. Generally, there are none. Patia, sometimes there is, but not all the time. Definitely not all the time. Well, you smoke away. I just don't think people should be smoking cigarettes. I don't get it. And okay, whatever, do what you want to do. But like, don't complain to me because you're addicted to cigarettes. I knew a guy who used to smoke all kinds of cigarettes, and he gave it up. I don't know how he did it. And he hasn't smoked in 15, 20 years. And also, Jono stopped smoking, and then he started smoking again. I don't know what he's doing now. I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. Now, some other things, the Belt and Road Initiative, One Belt, One Road. This has only been adopted for 10 years. And they're trying to get 150 countries and international organizations to get involved with this. I don't know how many of these countries are going to, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think right now. They're not going to be able to pay their debt. And thus, China will take over and be in control. Okay, I'm looking at this. Let me see here. Yep, Thailand is in there. The United States is not in. Most of the West, aside from some of South America, but all of Southeast Asia and Africa. And what is this in the red over here? Let me see here. Oh, it won't tell me. Let's see here. Yeah, it doesn't tell me. Wow, even Canada. So, all right, that's another issue. Again, economic. And one thing that we don't really think about is that they are buying up land. They control the medicine. They control many of the parts for aircraft. If they were smart, they could take part in a concerted effort against the United States, against the UK, against wherever, and that they could make things very, very difficult for us. Now, I don't know how that would play out militarily. I have no idea. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to be involved in it, and I don't want to be anywhere near where a war takes place between China and the United States. Yeah, I just think that's bad news. All right, let me see something here. Anyway, getting back to this whole Brendan Kavanaugh thing, I think it's the Chinese are shooting themselves in the foot, and I wonder what, there was a guy online who, he's a Chinese guy, but he's a Chinese American, he lives in America, and he researched how many places are showing this video in China. He looked on, what's their, Bailu or something like that? And then he looked on one of the other ones, and he couldn't find but a few comments. I mean, like a handful of comments. It was like 5 comments. That's all he found. He didn't find that it's all over the internet. It's viral in China. Now, why? I don't know. Actually, Andy, I think Thailand is number 2 in Southeast Asia. Yeah, they're the second largest economy in Southeast Asia after Indonesia. So they're not 8 or 9. They're number 2. And they have been rising steadily in the past 20 years. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. Don't forget to touch the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and look down below in the description for all the ways you can support the channel or follow me or whatever you want to do. Just know what's going on with me and my channel. And also, if you need any help, you can send me an email at anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com, and we can work something out. Yeah, I don't know, but now Thailand is number 2, which is, you know, it's pretty good. It's the 23rd largest economy in the world. Wow. What am I doing? Anyway, okay. So we already know what's going on with this guy, Brendan Kavanaugh. I want to see what happens. I want to see if they pull down that video. If they pull down that video, that's bad news. That's bad news for freedom. If they keep the video up, then I would assume that YouTube is saying, hey, the law is in the UK that you can film. Now, you're putting it up on a website that's, I think it's hosted in California. The law is in California. But you see, this is a different matter. This is not a law. YouTube does not create law. They create their rules and regulations. That's really all they do. What's going on here? I got all kinds of issues. Hang on a second. Okay. There we go. Wonderful. Get back on the, there we go, back on the live stream here on my computer. There we go. All right. So, you know, those are a few things. The Taiwan, Hong Kong, the Belt and Road Initiative, buying up land, buying up whatever they can, buying up companies. I mean, I think they own, what is it they own? Let me see here. I know I saw something where they were taking over an auto dealership in Detroit. Let me see here. Yeah, the Chinese are in Detroit now. Oh, Jesus. They quietly are building a Detroit presence. Geely Automobile Company, Trump Chi. Yeah, they have China's Geely Wow's Detroit Auto Show. Now, what I will say is that, for the most part, a lot of what China churns out is junk. It's not all junk. I mean, DJI is made in China. DJI is a pretty good brand, right? I'm sure some of the GoPro is made in China. Some of the Mac, Apple, made in China. But a lot of what comes out of China is junk, which is why most of the time I never buy from Lazada or Shopee, because most of what they have is junk. If you look on there, they have a lot of junk. They have a lot of stuff direct from China, which is why I don't buy from Alibaba. I don't want Chinese junk. My wife will buy stuff, she doesn't care where it comes from. She'll get stuff and she'll go, this was only 89 baht. And I'm like, yeah, but it'll last you for about 14 minutes. She doesn't seem to get it. All right, they're opening up now. Busy, busy, busy. Everybody's coming in now. The March of the Patron. Seems like there's a fair amount of people coming in. Anyway. All right. Well, I think we've gone over that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other ways that China is involved. You know, there is no evidence to suggest that China is attempting to take over militarily. I've said that before. They are definitely experiencing significant economic and geopolitical growth in the past couple of decades, and their influence has also increased on the global stage. They have economic reforms, technological advancements, which sometimes they steal those technological advancements. They're good at that, kind of like Thailand is good at taking things that have already been made and then making something their own, whether it's a copy, illegal or not. The Belt and Road Initiative is a massive infrastructure and development project that aims to enhance connectivity between Asia, Europe, and Africa. While some view this initiative as a way for China to expand its influence, others see it as an economic strategy. That's a key word here, to boost trade and development. And strategy is what it's all about. The only other country that can stand with China, maybe, is India. And that's kind of scary. They're both scary. China and India as the world powers scares me. China is now a major player in institutions like the United Nations, World Trade Organization, World Health Organization. Well, we know that already. Additionally, China has sought to strengthen diplomatic ties through initiatives like the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And, you know, the fact that they're trying to globally dominate other countries, it may sound like it's a simple topic, but it is very complex, and I think much more complex than we think. And many experts argue that China's primary focus is on its own economic development, and it is not pursuing a military strategy to take over the world. I don't know about that, but hopefully not in the time that I'm alive will that happen. The problem with having all your eggs in the one trading basket is China can decimate an economy overnight by switching off if you upset them politically. They did that to our wine and barley industry. Well, that's what I mean. And they have access to medicine, ingredients for medicine, ingredients, parts for airplanes, military and otherwise. So seafood would cost in the U.S. I order a second time and say a good fashion at a fraction. Yeah, I know already that some of the stuff that I buy probably comes from China. I don't want to give them any more business than I have to. And I know about Shine, but I don't order from them. I have ordered from H&M, and I dare say H&M probably gets everything from China. India has the fourth biggest military in the world. Okay. And that's kind of scary also. Yeah, I just think about India and it scares me. Honestly. And maybe I shouldn't be, whatever. But it definitely scares me. Russia scares me. North Korea, forget about it. You know, I had a conversation with Chuck a short while ago. We were talking about, oh yeah, you gotta go to North Korea. Man, I just don't want to go there. Sorry, Chuck. I really don't want to go there. I don't care about the place. I'd rather see that it's one Korea, mainly South Korea, than it is North Korea. And I don't think that's going to happen. And, you know, it's just, I hate to say this, but I'm at an age now where I want to concentrate on the places that I feel like are positive places that I really would like to go because they've got a lot to offer. Where maybe I would live there, or maybe I would want to go there for a couple of months every year. That's the kind of place that I personally want to travel to. I don't want to travel to places that I don't like. You know, and for me, India, sorry, Andy, I know you're going there, but it's just the hassle of being there. And my mother told me about it. Now, she was with a tour group, and the tour basically took her everywhere, held her hand. You know, they didn't let her wander off, and you know, and thus she was fairly well taken care of. I wouldn't be doing that. I don't think. I don't want to have these hassles. And, you know, like I said, I've been to China before, and I've been to Hong Kong. I liked Hong Kong. I don't have any desire to go to Egypt. None. No desire to go there. I don't know why, I just don't. I'd rather visit numerous places in Europe, and I'd like to travel to like Chile and Argentina, and some of these places. Go back to the Caribbean where I've been before, but I like to go again to some places because it's been a while. But anyway, my point is that, like, for me to go to China again, no thank you. There was a guy a long time ago who was trying to get me to go to China to work there. And, you know, he started talking about money, and I was like, this money ain't bad, man. Maybe I'll go there. And then it kind of fell through, but that would be the only reason I would go there. And you know, now at my age, the money's unimportant. I wouldn't go there. I don't care how much you offer me. I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't live there. No offense to China. And I know from going there that there are some very nice Chinese people, and that, you know, they have bent over backwards to help me when I was there, to help the people that I was with. I really appreciate that. However, I look at the Chinese government and I want nothing to do with them. Absolutely nothing. I don't even want to think about them. You know, I mean, and you know, the thing is that if you think about it, where in Southeast Asia have I not gone? I've gone to just about everywhere. And now I look at Southeast Asia in a different light. I like Thailand because it's developed. I like Indonesia because there are parts of it that are developed. Even Vietnam, I like it, but I don't like it enough to go live there. So for me now, after 30 years, I kind of want to see other things outside of Southeast Asia. And I went to South America, and I went to Ecuador, and I liked America. I liked Ecuador, and I would probably go back simply because Ecuador is not in the thick of everything except for the drug trade. So that's something else to think about. But on the whole, you're not going to have problems in Ecuador with people in the drug trade because you're not around those people. So, you know, that's just me. Europe and parts of South America. I'd like to go to Africa if I had the money. I would like to go to Oz at some point. But, you know, I can only go to so many places so often, and that doesn't really matter. What matters to me, really, and I'm always thinking about it, but I just never say anything, and, you know, it doesn't pay to dwell on it, is, you know, what's the world going to be like in 20 years? Is the CCP really going to take over? Is the United States going to be in the toilet? What's going to happen? This is the only thing that I really follow. I don't follow the news. I don't follow what's going on. I try not to follow anything too closely because all I care about is here. This is what matters. I missed that one for you guys, sorry. Nobody in this place, which is great. As long as I don't get deli belly, I'll be fine. How many days are you going to be there? Because if you're there more than like, more than like one night, or you're more than a layover, I'm going to say you're going to get it. Oh, you're going to get it. Guarantee you. You will get it at some juncture. At some point there, it's going to happen. What are you going to do? How are you going to get out of that one? Everybody who goes, hey, thanks a lot, Daniel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. What does this say for a nice shirt? Oh, well, thank you very much. I put this shirt on today. I said, what I did was there was yellowing in the collar because I hadn't worn it. And I told my wife, I said, let it soak. So she's like, okay. She cleans it for me. She's got to go somewhere this weekend. I was going to go with her, and I decided not to. First, Alex was going to go with her. Alex is like, no, I've got to work next week. I've got to work he's going to start working full-time. I believe starting February 1st, he's going to be working full-time for the next 3 months. I don't know if it's a probation period or he's just helping him out. I don't know. But he has a full-time job, so I'm very happy. So she was going to take him, and he doesn't want to go. And then she said to me, if you want to go, you can go. I said, well, maybe. And then I thought about it, and I thought, listen, you're going to be working the whole time. I don't need to go with you. I don't want to go. So she's going alone, and I'll be at home. Nicholas is at school. He's very busy. He's got 7 classes this term. So he's quite busy, but he showed me his grades for the last 3 classes. He had an A, a B, and a B+. So I'm pretty happy. Food poisoning. I think, Andy, the chance of you getting it is quite high. Maybe from brushing your teeth, from some ice, from whatever, but I think in 4 weeks, you'll be lucky to go to India and not get Delhi belly. I think you're going to get it. I hate to tell you that. I do believe that's going to happen. All right, so what happened with the, let me see something. I have not seen any recent news about the marijuana and the issue, other than they're going to make it medicinal use only, but they have not signed anything. Nothing's come to fruition yet, so that's still out there. Let me see here. What is this here? Where did I see this? I did not know that Chrissy Teigen's mother, her mother is Thai. I didn't know that. Parco, who's Parco? Parco, Ombre, and Gennaro. I don't know who Parco and Ombre are, but I know who Gennaro is. He's not here today. I don't know. Maybe it's because I yelled at him the other day. But I get sick and tired of seeing language in it. I get sick and tired of seeing, I understand what he's trying to do, but it's like nobody can read Thai. I can read it, but nobody else can. I don't want to see it all the time. So I'm just asking that small favor of him to please not write in Thai. I've asked him that numerous times. And, you know, I don't want to be hard on him, but, like, don't write in Thai. How difficult is that? It's, you know, it's rather simple. You write in English. I understand maybe he's excited about learning the language, but, you know, if I wanted, I could write in Thai. I could do all kinds of things. And I mean, I've been speaking in Thai because hopefully, just by assimilation, by you guys follow me once in a while, you'll remember a few words. Oh, sawadee krap. Oh, sabai mai. You know, bye nai. You remember some phrases. That's my good deed for people who want to visit and come to Thailand. But I don't know where Mr. Two Quarters Korean is. I know he was having some problems with Wi-Fi or something when he got back. He is back, and he very kindly informed me that he's having some toilet issues. That's what we'll say. Anyway, important stuff. CCP is going to take over the world, and Two Quarters Koreans having some toilet issues. The most important things that we can talk about. You know, Andy, I'd really like to see you get through India without having any issues. But honestly, I just don't think it's going to happen. But I would like to see it happen. I just don't think it's going to. So, anyway. Well, we're at 78 minutes. And I don't know that I can talk about Brendan Kavanaugh anymore. I mean, you know, his is he reaches 2 million, a little more than 2 million people, 2.32 million people. But when you think about that in the context of how many people are in the world, it's a pittance. Not many people really know who he is in the world. Only the people very connected and who watch YouTube all the time. You know, 2.32% is a very small percentage of 7 billion. And, you know, while it's important, and I really think that I don't know what the Chinese are thinking. I have no idea why they're thinking the things they think. My country, my law. That's how it works. Not, oh, I'm in my country, but we're going to abide by your laws. No. Maybe they were used to pushing people around in China or asking for things in China or demanding things in China, and they're used to getting them, and then they're in the UK and they think, oh, all I have to do is say, oh, please don't record here. Wait a minute, why can't I record here? Oh, because I'm asking you, please don't record it. Now, if Brendan really wanted to be very nice, and he had a reason why he didn't want to continue filming, he could have went, okay, no problem. He could have easily done that. And that, you know, that would have avoided everything. However, it is his job to be online. And just as when I'm in a Songtao, when some guy grabs my gimbal, I'm going to say something. When he's sitting there and he's minding his own business and somebody walks up and goes, no filming, no filming, no share, no share, no share, that's all, no share. Oh, well, wait a minute. Says who? Says you? I don't care who you are. Who are you? She kept asking after the guy told her to fuck off, which he very rightly said that to her. Hey, honey, you know, you guys don't like it, fuck off. That's what he said. After he said that, she said, who are you? You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that. Yes, you can. And he did. And he got away with it. And nobody's going to go after him and throw him in jail because he spoke impolitely to you. He spoke impolitely to you for a reason. And then she asked him, who are you? Well, wait a minute, honey, who are you? If I'm going to tell you who I am, you need to tell me who you are. And in fact, that very same thing happened to me when I was on the Songtao. The guy said to me, who are you? And I said, who are you? Where do you come from? Why? It's none of your business. Who are you, the police? No, you're not the police. Well, then shut up and stop asking me to answer your questions, because I'm not answering anything if I don't want to. And that's basically what I said. I said, who are you? Well, that's what the guy said. And of course, she didn't answer. Well, now people have found out who they are. And I'm going to state their names again, just because I can. Liu Menjing. She owns a consulting firm in the UK. And supposedly she's online and she's made a video about this, and she's accused Brendan Kavanaugh of some provoking activities. There's Miss Adelina, or Zhan Ning, as she's known in China, who's a host and presenter, who hosts and presents pro-China material in the UK, which to me is kind of like, okay, there's a point. I understand, I'm so nationalistic. Oh, I love my country. Okay, then what do you have British citizenship? You shouldn't. Then the guy, the idiot, who was shouting because he touched her flag, which really, that's so minor. His name is Newton Lang, and he is associated with the Confucius Institutes and the Financial Times. And he definitely, all three of them are involved with the CCP or mimic the CCP's laws in some form. And he's the guy who said, don't touch her, you are not the same age. Now, what does being the same age have to do with the price of tea in China? Or in the price of tea in the UK? What does it have to do? Apparently, people who are different ages in China are not supposed to touch each other. Only if you're the same age are you allowed to touch someone, which I don't get that. I don't know if that's true. I need to look that up, but that's what I was told. That's what I read, what I heard. But they're in the UK. You're in the UK. Why is it that they think you can't even touch somebody's flag? I understand. Don't get near me. Leave me alone. You're not even allowed to touch someone nowadays. If you touch them on the shoulder, that could be construed as assault. So I don't understand that. Whatever. Only had that issue 12 years ago. Never had a problem since. Exactly. Okay, Dallo, cool. He had a strong British accent. Yes, kick him out of the country. Well, the filming laws are different in China than they are in the UK. And, once he said to them, listen, the law in China is that we're in a public place, I can film. If he had said, listen, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just asking you, hey, buddy, we're trying to film this project for China, and we really don't want you to be in the film, or we don't want you filming us, or whatever. Okay, that's a different way to approach it, but he didn't approach it that way. And rightly so, Brendan did not back down. Just because they want to film a pro-Chinese video for the new year in London's train station doesn't mean you have to say, okay, I'll let you have free reign here. You can film whatever you want, and we're not going to film you. That's not how it works. The law is what it is. And anybody who knows the law knows that in most cases, in places that are not corrupt, what the law says is followed to the T. You're allowed to film and shoot video, shoot photographs in a public place. Boom, end of story. There is no, oh, well, you're hurting their feelings. Oh, they didn't really like that you said they're Chinese. Who gives a fuck? Seriously. You are Chinese. You're Chinese and you're a British. You're now a British citizen because you became naturalized. And if you live in the UK and are trying to push the CCP's agenda, then you should be booted. Seriously, it's one thing if, okay, you are part of the CCP and you live you've decided you want to live in England, and that's it. Okay, no problem. But once you start pushing their agenda, it's almost like you are trying to overthrow the government. Seen Westerners that are pro-China on YouTube. Wow. Referred to as white monkeys. Well, I don't, I hesitated calling anybody a monkey. But I would say WTF. Try to keep it a little bit clean here. Why would you back China? If you really believe in what they are pushing, they are peddling, then go live there. I understand there are some very good things about living in China. There are also a lot of bad things. And to me, I would never want to live there. Ask Bruce. Where's Bruce now? Bruce used to live in China. And he got out by the skin of his teeth. He's very happy to have left there and come here. He's thrilled to be out of China. I can tell you that right now. Everybody I know is thrilled to get out of China. I don't usually mention them, but the guy, Serpent ZA, I don't watch him anymore. I watched him once in a while in the past. That Serpent ZA and Lao Y, these guys, they used to live in China. And I think both of them were married to Chinese women. And they no longer live in China, and they won't be going back. And when you're in a place where you live, and you really are not doing anything that could be construed as wrong, and you have Chinese agents coming to your door, knocking on your door, what does that tell you about the place where you live? Maybe it's time for a demographic shift, Dowlow. And I'm not saying that, all Chinese are this way. I mean, a lot of Chinese look at what these Chinese did in the video, and they just shake their heads, and they're like, listen, good for you, standing up for yourself. When in the UK, do as, just like he said, when in Rome, do as the Romans. So what else you gonna do? Get over it. More music. All right, let me see something. Yes, the South African guy. Yeah, he used to live there. I don't know if he's gone back or if he plans on going back, but I don't think so. Now imagine you're his wife. Yeah, that's the thing, Wesley. I don't want to. I did have to stop in Hong Kong for about 10 minutes when I came back from the U.S. And the reason was that we had a flight that we had to get a ticket at the last minute, and the flight went through, I don't even remember. I think it went through England, and then it went somewhere else, and then it went to Hong Kong. And when we got to Hong Kong, we had a half an hour to make the flight. And by the time we got off the plane, it was like we had it was like you have 15 minutes before the flight is scheduled to depart. And there was a woman at the gate who said, "Come with me, let's go." And we had to go through immigration and customs in like 15 minutes. We almost ran. My kids were kind of running. I was lagging behind. And we went through, and we made it. And as soon as we got through the door, they closed the door, sit down, boom, put your seatbelt on, and that was how close it was. We didn't have any time there. So while I don't want to, I definitely don't, I don't want to go through, I mean, I went to Shanghai before, transferred through Shanghai to go to the US a couple times ago when I went there, and I would never do it again. First of all, I'm in Shanghai and I see this place that looks like Starbucks, but it's not Starbucks. It's their copy of Starbucks, which, you know, of course, leave it to China to copy Starbucks. You know, I'm not a Starbucks fan. I don't really love Starbucks. It is what it is. It's just a place to hang out, kind of like this place. But they stole Starbucks. That's what they did. They don't care about the brand. They don't care anything about it. Then when I went in for food, they gave me like a bowl of water with some vegetables, like some cabbage, and like a little carrot, and you know, maybe like a little onion, and that was it. That was my meal. It was like $9. And I looked at it and I went, what is this? And then I just thought about it and I thought, you know, I don't like flying through China. I don't like anything about China. I don't want to say I'm a hater. It's not that I hate the people. I just don't like the government. I don't like the way they operate. I don't like their attitude. I really don't like it. Star sucks. I forget what they called it, and I have a photo somewhere of the place. And I'm talking about, it was exactly the green logo, it was everything, but it wasn't Starbucks. You know. So I have no reason to go through there again. My thoughts on people associated with the governments are not positive. And that's all I'm going to say about it. I mean, you know. But there are some places I'd like to go. Like I said, Greece, Albania. I'd like to go through Europe. I'd like to go to Italy. I'd like to go quite a few places in Europe. And eventually I'll get there, as long as I stay alive. You know, I laugh about that, but who knows? And then there's a few places in South America I'd like to go. But I don't want to go to China. I don't want to go see the Great Wall. As Carl Pilkington, if you know who he is, what he says is, what's so great about it? It's a freaking wall. I love that, because that's the truth. What is so great about it? Oh, you get to see all the people. Okay, I've already been to China. I've seen a lot of people in China. It was jam-packed with people when I went there. And I had, listen, when I was there for the Olympics, I was like, they had all these girls helping the photographers. And I had like 4 or 5 girls helping me. You know, I would have like 1 or 2 helping me, and then the next day, 1 or 2 would help me, and then the day after, those people would be back and everything like that. When I left, every single one of those girls gave me a gift. I still have some of those gifts. And one of them wrote on the thing something like, Scotty, you're my favorite. Of all the people that came here, you're my favorite. I'm so happy to have been with you and helped you, and you know, that kind of thing. And my wife was like, oh, she sounds like she's got a crush on you. But what she didn't know is that all the girls, I had a great time with all of them. It wasn't like I was trying to, you know, jump their bones or anything like that. It was just I had a good time. So it has nothing to do with the people. It has everything to do with the mindset of some of those who are involved with the CCP. Yeah, I think I use China Southern, and I also use China Eastern. I will not use them anymore. I'd rather pay more money than to fly with them, because they're that bad, in my opinion. Anyway, enough said about that. I really appreciate you guys joining me. You know, I like this kind of a video or live stream where we interact and we can talk about what we think. And you know, what I've found is that through the comments, and also comments in this live stream and other live streams, Not a lot of people agree with the politics of China. They don't particularly like them. And I saw several kids who were carted off, thrown on a train. No one's ever heard from them again. A couple of them, one of them supposedly was pushed off a ledge of a carport. Another one found in the Victoria. What is it? Is it not Lake? Is it Lake Victoria? No, Victoria Bay. So you know, I don't have good feelings about the CCP and what they push and how far they're willing to go to further their agenda. So, anyway, as I said, I appreciate everybody joining me. Do me a favor, before you leave, hit the thumbs up if you'd be so kind. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Look out in the description. Check it out. See if there's anything you like there. Kajopgon, which means we are all finished. Kapkun Tukon Samakan Rapchom, which means thank you for watching. Dule Toeng, which means take care of yourself. Leo Jerk and Mai, Choke D, Leo Jerk and Mai, which means good luck and see you later. And Kanina Kap, which means thank you very much. And I will see you later. All right? Later.